Congress have gone to check up on the protesters the many protesters are still rotting in the D.C. jail and have been for more than 10 months. Marjorie Taylor Greene just went and was shocked by what she saw. She visited some of the defendants. Some of them told her they are not allowed to practice their religion until they get vaccinated, for example. Listen.
Are you allowed to have religious services?
We do our own. I submitted for communion last week, and they said the only way to get communion is to get vaccinated, which is against our First Amendment rights. So they're prohibiting us from practicing our religion.
Just so we can get the vaccine.
Other inmates said they're not allowed to see their families. They were pushed to disavow Donald Trump. Some said they couldn't go outside more than twice a week. It goes on. Here's more.
Are you able to talk to your family members or see your family members?
I haven't seen my family's faces in all year. I haven't seen my family's faces since April.
Do you feel like you're being treated fairly?
Nope. No. Still locked in most of the day.
How many hours?
We only get 5 hours a day out.
Do you go outside? Do you go outside? Twice a week?
Considering all the violence, the actual violence that our media excused for over a year, it's pretty amazing that nobody cares what's happened to these people. And of course, a lot of members of Congress are applauding this. Liz Cheney, for example. She was just asked the obvious question. If you really want to get to the bottom of what happened on January 6th, did the federal government have any role? There were a lot of people there. Were any of them working for the feds? Well, you're not allowed to ask that. Here's Liz Cheney.
You know, it's the same kind of thing that you hear from people who say that 9/11 was an inside job, for example. It is, it's un-American to be spreading those kinds of lies, and they are lies. And we have an obligation that goes beyond partisanship, and an obligation that we share, Democrats and Republicans together, to make sure that we understand every single piece of the facts about what happened that day, and to make sure the people who did it are held accountable. To call it a false flag operation to spread those kinds of lies is really dangerous.
So the weapons of mass destruction lady is accusing other people of lying. Got it. And we need to get to the bottom of it, but how dare you ask questions about it, because that's un-American. Well, we're going to continue to ask questions about it because she's not in charge. Marjorie Taylor Greene is also a member of Congress. She's from Georgia. She took the time to find out what's going on. She joins us tonight. Congresswoman, thanks so much for coming on. I know you saw a lot there. You gathered a lot of information, but sum up your sense of how these Americans are being treated in custody.
Well, apparently it's patriot hunting season ever since January 20th, Tucker. You see, I can't believe what's happening in our country. We saw a whole year of riots where Antifa and BLM rioters were burning down cities, businesses, attacking people on the streets, and even killing brave retired police officers like David Dorn. But yet people went to the Capitol using their First Amendment, and then some of them did get involved in a riot. But what I saw Thursday night when I went to the D.C. jail after months of persistence trying to get in just to see what was happening in there because of the terrible rumors that were coming out of that jail, everything that I've heard I found out was true. You see, these people are being held. They were held for 4 months, 23-1, 23 hours a day in solitary confinement in their cell, 1 hour out. Then it followed by 2 months, 22-2, 22 hours in their cell, 2 hours out. And now they're able to be out 5 hours at a time if they're on good behavior. But you see, if they're not vaccinated, they can't get a haircut, they can't shave. They're given Nair to chemically remove their hair instead of be able to get a haircut. If they're not vaccinated, they're not allowed to go to chapel. If they're not vaccinated, they're not allowed to have communion. You see, even in jail, in prison, unvaccinated people are treated like second-class citizens. But it's worse than just that. They haven't seen their family members since they've been arrested. They aren't able to talk to their attorneys when they want to. The food that they're given is not good food, and many of them are sick. There's several men in there that really need medical treatment. They're being denied. There's an elderly man in the jail whose hand is purple and his thumb is black, and they begged me to get him out of there. They're really suffering. They're being treated badly. And Tucker, here's the worst part. These are pre-trial defendants, and they're not allowed to bail out. and they're told they have to denounce President Trump and what they believe if they want to make bail. And so it's outrageous that Americans can be treated this way, and every single American should be upset over this because, you know, I ran for Congress because I don't trust our government, and now that I'm a member of Congress and after I've seen everything I've seen, I don't even trust our government. It's worse than it was before.
Yeah. I mean, none of this is proportionate to what they've been accused of doing. And people like Liz Cheney defend it. She'd drone them if she could.
Oh, she would.
Does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Liz Cheney would like to take them down. She sees them as some kind of lower class.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, thanks for